Hey everybody, it is Nicole, and I know I haven't put out a video in a couple of days. It's been a very exhausting couple of days. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. And if you can believe it, my therapist, along with the entire mental health department that he works in, are still on strike as of the strike started in August, and my insurance is through Kaiser, and so Kaiser. So this is how Kaiser works: is they are an insurance company, and they are also a conglomerate of doctors. So you have all of your specialists and all of that stuff. And then, you have your mental health, you have your family practice, surgeons and all of that stuff. So, when I say that the whole mental health department has gone on strike, with the exception of psychiatrists, in other words, like my doctor that writes my prescriptions for my medications, that means there are no therapists available for me to go see. And the only way I would be able to do that is if they were to hire temporary therapists or social workers or whatnot. And while they did do that, I think they only hired 2. Now, when you're talking about 2 therapists or whatever you want to call it to cover however many patients they have, it's kind of like, you get what you get. And so I have all of these, like I've had appointments scheduled from August all the way up, and I have appointments scheduled till like December, and I had one appointment, and which was with somebody that I'd never seen before, which is always weird because for those of you who have had or gone through therapy, it's a really difficult thing. It's where you have to be able to connect with the therapist or social worker or whatnot. So and granted, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. So but what I'm just kind of telling you from my experience, you have to be like, it's kind of like being in a relationship. You have to be able to feel comfortable with that person to discuss all of these things that you're having issues with, whether it's if you have bipolar or if you have depression or OCD or anxiety. Like, for example, right now I'm having a panic attack. Can you tell? Probably not. But I have it, so the fact that I have missed so many because my appointments were bi-weekly, which my therapist said that because the way Kaiser is, and I view them as, they're kind of like, I don't know, they're being cheapies. Because my therapist said that if he had it his way, he would be seeing me on more than every 2 weeks. He would be seeing me at least weekly. But unfortunately, that's just not possible because there are not enough staff to see all of the patients, which I think is part of the reason why they've gone on strike. So in turn, it has also hurt patients like me. So I have been extremely exhausted. I have been dealing with excruciating headaches because I am so stressed out about everything. And I compartmentalize, as I've told you, so I kind of just like shove things in boxes and hope they go away, which obviously they don't go away because they manifest in other ways. And with the holidays coming up, I know it's going to be hard, and I don't know if my therapist is going to be around. My regular therapist is going to be around to help me through all of it. So that's the main reason why I haven't been able to have the energy to do many videos. It's while I do love talking to all of you guys, I do enjoy doing all of this. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's hard to take a shower. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed every day because, you know, being a mom and all that stuff, you know, just because I have bipolar or depression or whatever, doesn't mean that being a mom goes away, or having to make dinner, that doesn't go away. Sure, yeah, I can, you know, I can order out and all that stuff, but, you know, as financially, it's not sustainable. Like today, I've already decided I'm not cooking dinner. I'm already exhausted. And because I also, okay, I have bipolar 1. So bipolar has, if I'm correct, 2, I guess, sections, if you want to call them. So there's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Bipolar 2 is the lesser of the bipolars, and I have 1. So, and where my mood swings hit me harder. So when I have my manic episodes, I go like, not wacko per se, but they hit me harder. And then when I get into a depressive mode, it's really hard, where it's difficult to get out of bed. It's harder to do things, where like all I want to do is sleep all day. I don't want to get off the couch and all that stuff. The other thing I have is I have OCD. OCD is a really hard thing to deal with because it's not necessary. OCD is sometimes misconstrued as just like somebody having to do something repetitively, like, you know, flipping the lights on and off repeatedly, or washing their hands, you know, over and over and over again, like what you see on TV or in the movies. It's not necessarily about that. Sometimes it's like in your head, where you're repeatedly thinking about something over and over and over again, and you can't let go of it. And I know that it drives my husband insane, because sometimes he's like, just get over it. Let it go. It's not that big of a deal. And to me, it really is. And I know in the back of my mind that like little voice in my head is telling me that it's not that big of a deal, when in reality it truly is. Or no, that it isn't. And then I also have anxiety, and I would never wish anxiety on anybody. It's something that is difficult to deal with. It's difficult to handle, because there are so many levels to anxiety, and everybody deals with being anxious, like that feeling you get when, like, say you've got a big test you have to take, but usually it just goes away, or like maybe you feel anxious about I don't know, meeting somebody new, right? And you don't know if they're gonna like you or not, but it will go away after a little while, because you're like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. Well, the kind of anxiety that the people I know that have anxiety, and the kind of anxiety that I have is it's um, uh, my brain reminding me of things that I've said 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 5 minutes ago. Like right now, is this the right video to do right now? Will you guys understand? You're gonna, it doesn't go away. And then I have like these panic attacks, and those oh my God, those are the worst, because they're crippling, and that's the biggest part. And you add agoraphobia with it, and agoraphobia is something that is really tough to handle, because it makes you afraid to leave the house. It makes everything outside of the house scary. Getting in the car, scary. It makes going to the grocery store scary. It makes going to pick up my son, scary from school. When it shouldn't, because it's completely irrational. And in my head, it tells me that it is irrational. And then you add the anxiety and the panic attacks. It makes it like you have a 100-pound weight sitting on your chest that you just can't get rid of, because it just doesn't make any sense. It's something that is irrational, because you remember all of these things and you wonder if you've hurt somebody's feelings, or you've done something really stupid that somebody saw, and that somebody is judging you about it, or whatnot. And so all of these things all put together, with the absence of any therapist to talk to about it, has made things really, really exhausting. And then you add the fact that I also have chronic illnesses that chronic pain is exhausting. And that's the thing is I really, really hate it when people are like, just take a Tylenol, just take an ibuprofen, or it's not a big deal, or just suck it up and deal with it. Like my dad used to love saying that. Just like, suck it up and deal with it. Get over it. Stop being a baby, and get over it, because you're an adult and you have responsibilities, and he never really truly understood any of it. And so, because I grew up with 2 narcissistic parents, yay me. My dad was more of a like out there narcissist. Like, you knew that he was a narcissist. He didn't care he didn't care that everybody knew that he thought he was like the best thing that there was, even though a lot of times the things that he did didn't make any sense. And the fact that after he passed away, he left a lot of things hanging out there for my mom to deal with, and to fix, and to try to figure out, that she didn't really understand, because he, it's not like he left some sort of like manual for her to say, okay, this is what you need to do to take care of X, Y, and Z. Now my mom, she is more of, I guess, like a undercover or covert narcissist, where like she always acted like the peacemaker. She always acted like she wanted to be on your side. But once COVID hit and like she moved in with us, which was a part of this like whole plan that is this like whole long story. But she moved in because she was mad at my dad. She got into an argument with my father, so she decided at the very last minute. Now COVID hit, the state shut down, and then she got into an argument with my dad, and so she called me up at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and said that she got into an argument with my dad and that she was like grabbing all of her stuff and she's coming to our house. I'm like, wait, like now? And she's like, yeah, I'm moving now. And I'm like now. And she said, yeah. So I hope that's okay. I mean, what am I gonna say? No. And that's the other thing. With my parents, you don't say no. There's no such thing as no. And so I had to get up, change my clothes, get ready, and I had to go into the room that she was going to stay in, that we were still planning on, and like move all of my stuff that was my craft room out of there or around, shove it in places so that she would have space to put her things in, move the mattress in there, and then so that she had room to move all of her stuff in there. And then over time, through COVID, and this is the thing, is the state has shut down. The governor had already said you're not allowed to, if those of you who have dealt with this, no like leaving your house, no going to the restaurants. All the restaurants got shut down. All of the places that were non-essential got shut down. My mom, she decided she was going to move into my house. Somebody who is like immunocompromised, she's like, okay, I'm going to move in. And so she moved in, and she gave me an hour and a half notice. And so after living with my mom and then my dad coming and going throughout all of this time, realized who the person that she was. And so I knew that I needed to get more help than I was getting. So, long story short, I have been kind of stuck as of August, and I'm doing my best, and I needed to take a couple of days off to rest, and yeah, but I'm putting this out there so that you guys can kind of see where I'm at right now. I'm gonna be posting another video because I do have an unbagging that I want to share with you guys. So I got some yarn that I ordered from Knit Crate. I actually ordered some more yarn from Hobby. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes life sucks and you don't get to choose who your family is, and you have to remember that sometimes, even though you don't get to choose who your blood family is, you do get to choose who you're friends with, and that you can choose to have a family and friends that are not blood related, and you have the choice to make them a part of your life over the people who are blood related. And if the people who are blood related to you are not treating you the right way, you should put down boundaries. And if they are not willing to follow those boundaries, then it's okay to step back and say, no, I can't do this anymore, and cut them out of your lives, because you don't need the toxic people in your life, which is what I did. And then choose your own family that may not be blood related. I've been burnt on multiple occasions as far as that goes, as far as people who have thought that I were my friends, and who have not been my friends. Like, I've had people who have, like, I thought who were my friends, and then it turns out that they're not, because, like, I remember a couple of times where we will plan to do things together, and I will show up for said event, and they don't show up. Yeah, I've had that done to me more than once, and it sucks. So these days I'm a lot more careful with who I'm friends with and who I'm not friends with. I tend to be a lot more guarded as far as that goes, and that's okay, because I don't have time. I don't have time for people like that. And so I am choosing more carefully right now. I have found somebody that I think is a better influence on my life, other than my husband and my family. Like my 2 kids, obviously, and my husband. And I essentially have 2 other people outside of that I can trust. And if, for those of you out there, if you question, in your life, is that the right thing to do, to cut that person or people out of your life? If they are hurting you, if they are making you feel like crap, and then turning around and saying it's you, it's not you, it's most likely it's them, you need to, or you should, tell them no and walk away. Because it's okay. Just because they're family, just because they're blood, just because they're your mom or dad or sister, whatever, if they make you feel like crap, if they make you not feel good inside, if they don't hold you up, if they do terrible things that they don't think is terrible things, then it's time for you to say no. And if they don't understand, then just stop. So anyway, I didn't mean for this to be this kind of video, but I know I've been missing out on self-care Sundays and all of that stuff, and so I just kind of wanted to put this video out. Not only I wanted to like kind of explain the reason as to why I haven't put out anything in a couple of days, and then also I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of insight as to the kind of person I am, and that I do give a lot of myself, but I don't like being taken advantage of. So anyway, thank you to everybody who has entered into my giveaways. I really appreciate it. I have one more that's coming up. I'll probably be dropping that one on the 23rd or the 24th. That one is a bigger one. That's my 200 subscriber giveaway, and then we're actually close to 300. I think I'm at like 240 something, or maybe 250 something. I can't remember. So we're halfway there. So if we get to 300, I'll do another giveaway, because I like giving back. So come back and see my unbagging, because I want to share with you what I got. And then of course I'll keep on chugging away. So till my next video, I will talk to y'all later. Okay, bye.